Greetings, Doom sports fans, and welcome to another special edition of the Diner News Service Sports Department, covering this year the 2019 running of the Iditarod, the last great race on Earth. And the scene you see behind me is the scene from Kaltag in Alaska. It is the last stop on the Yukon River that the mushers have before they head further west to make it to the Bering Sea. There's not a lot happening in Kaltag, as you can see right now. This is a live stream coming from there. And they just got the live stream camera up, and they're getting ready for the first few mushers to roll on in. And then in that lot that you see on the screen, eventually, as more mushers roll in, that will be where they rest their dogs. They'll be laying out straw and so forth, and taking a break before they head for Unakleet, which is on the Bering Sea. They're more than halfway through the race at this point, just a little beyond, and it really has become a race with several competitors now in the running and in the mix to possibly win, depending on how things go over the next 400 or so miles. You have Nick Petit, who has been leader for much of the time along the trail up to this point. And then you have Jor Leifseth Olsen, who has also seesawed with him with a battle for the lead. And then there are some other fellows in the mix. I'll get their names to you later. They're slipping my mind at the moment, which I'm losing rapidly. What happens exactly here is anybody's guess. As far as Nick is concerned, he is known for blowing through rest stops with his team, but I can't see him blowing through this one, especially since supposedly he got a new sled shipped in to this rest area, probably because he had some problems with the old sled. And Jor also, I have read, is having equipment issues. Last check, Nick was down to 12 dogs from 14, and Jor was down to 11. So, we'll be back after some of the mushers come in, hopefully in the next few minutes, and we'll give you another report on what's going on in the Iditarod. No sooner did I shut off the camera than we had some dogs roll on into the camera range. And that looks to me like it's Nick Petit's team. And they're going to be looking for a place to rest the dogs. Nick's going to be looking for that. And they look in pretty good shape, although not as frisky as they were earlier in the race. Not a whole lot of barking going on and jumping around and all that sort of stuff. So these guys look like they could use a rest and some food. They have gotten, in my opinion, noticeably skinnier over the last few days. Okay, I'll get back to you again in a little while, after we see who else comes on in. Action is really heating up out there in Kaltag, and they've got some straw laid out for the dog team, and a lot of people milling about. These are mostly volunteer workers who help along the way at each of the rest areas, and they enable the race. So without the volunteers, we wouldn't have a race. Oh, we're changing scenes. Okay. Alright, a little bit more open. And you can see the number of people that are there. It still looks like there's only one team that has showed up. But there are at least 4 teams who are due in the next hour or so. And once they're in, if they intend to stay, they have to declare their intention for a rest, and then they have to make that minimum time. And Pete Kaiser has to take a mandatory 8-hour break at this rest stop. You have to do one 8-hour break somewhere along the Yukon, and this is the last chance for that. After this, they head over to the Bering Sea, where there is apparently a storm brewing, and a mini typhoon, if you will, Alaska style, and 30 to 40 miles an hour winds, blowing snow, except the snow quality is rare for Alaska. We're getting kind of a heavy wet snow like they get in Seattle. Normally it's a dry powdery snow up here, like you get in Utah and so forth. But abnormally warm temperatures have made the snow quality different, and it's changing the nature of the race. So that's all we have for right now. I may come back later with further details, or I may wait until tomorrow for another update. And that's all the sports do. This time until next time, here on the Diner News Service of the Doomstead Diner. Hasta la pasta, baby.